This is not a drill. The eagle has landed.
Ivan, what are you going to do?
Ivan Demidov, Demigod, the Ice Czar, Ivan the Great, whatever you want to call him, has touched down in Toronto, and he had fans waiting for him. Call this what you want, call it overbearingness, call it exuberance. The fans are extremely excited for his arrival. I mean, for a while there, it felt like that scene from Ransom.
Give me back my son! Hello! You want him? Yes! You want him?
Get him!
We just wanted him to be in Montreal, home and safe with his family. It definitely, it's bordering on the edge of derangement, but it's funny at the same time. Kind of funny. But just how good is Ivan Demidov? I'm going to give you some conservative thoughts. I'll try to predict how many points he'll get in his first 82 games. And hopefully we learn something together about just how good this kid is going to be. Let's talk about it. So these times are exciting. I don't know if I should be more excited for where the Montreal Canadiens are, their future, or just the prospect of having Ivan Demidov on the team. But exactly how good is Ivan Demidov? If you talk to somebody who loves hockey, they seem to be cautiously optimistic about how good this kid could be. He's being compared a lot to Kirill Kaprizov. And for good reason, they both played in the KHL. That was their upbringing into hockey. And their stats, come to find out, are pretty similar. I'll get to that. But if you ask a Toronto fan, he's going to be a huge bust. Isn't that the way it always goes? And there's a part of me saying, yeah, maybe he is not going to implement well into the NHL. It would kill me, but it could happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. You know what I think is going to happen, though? I think we're going to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the month. We're well on our way there. I think we're at like 11,600 subscribers. I'm completely humbled. I have no idea how to repay you guys. I've been working on trying to get merch together. What about an Ivan Demidov t-shirt? I like the design ideas I currently have, but buddy from the t-shirt shop is not getting back to me. And I don't know if you followed the drama, but he tried to send me a phishing link. He said his account was hacked, but I'm starting to think that this is not the guy. So we'll keep searching. And of course, I have my memberships open. If you want to become a member and get extra access to videos, custom emojis, polls, what else do? We do shoutouts for our members. Yeah, check out the details, check out the perks. But enough about that business stuff. Let's keep talking about this beautiful boy we've gotten. He touched down in YYZ. He had a bunch of fans waiting for him. You know, they couldn't do this in Montreal. There's no way he could have landed in Montreal. It would have been bigger than Beaver Fever. Did I say Beaver Fever? I meant Beatles Fever. I don't care. I'm leaving that in. It's not even Beatles Fever. It's Beatlemania. Oh, man. I'm tired, guys. Anyway, I did some digging. It's actually kind of hard to get this information. Stat sheets are not readily available from the KHL, and they're left kind of blank in some areas. But we know from game logs just how much time Ivan Demidov has played in the KHL. And same goes for Kirill Kaprizov. When they tracked stats for Kirill Kaprizov back in the ages when he played in the KHL, going back to 2014, I was just a wee babe. Yeah, it's way harder to get the information. But I've done the math, I've broken it down. Kirill Kaprizov, when he was 19 years old, it was during the 2016-2017 season. He played on Salavat UFA in the KHL, and he played 49 games. He had 20 goals, 22 assists, 42 points altogether, with a time on ice of 15 minutes and 30 seconds. Ivan Demidov is currently 19 years old. Of course, he played for St. Petersburg in the KHL this season. Played 65 games, 19 goals, 30 assists, 49 points altogether, and infamously, he was benched often and only was able to have 13 minutes and 45 seconds average time on ice in 65 games. Although he had the most points on the team, although he had the most goals for a long time and only has 2 less than the top goal scorer on the team, his coach deemed it unnecessary to play him very often. It was thought that this was a tactic in order for him to re-sign in the KHL, but it didn't work. So if we take both of their point totals and then calculate the average points per minute Here's how it breaks down. So Kaprizov played about 759.5 minutes. And if you would calculate the average points per minute, it would round out to be about 0.55 points per minute. If you did the same thing for Demidov, it would be around 893.75 minutes. And if you calculate the average points per minute, it would round out to be around 0.548 points per minute. So very, very close, although Kaprizov edges out Demidov a little bit. Now, is there something to be said about how Kaprizov played with the top lines? How Demidov was often placed with the lower lines? I think so, but that's maybe splitting hairs a little bit. Is there maybe something to say about the KHL, and has it in fact gotten better since 2016? I think there might also be an argument there as well, but we're going to ignore that. I want to give you a conservative number here. Temper your expectations. This is a 19-year-old kid. Remember all the pressure we put on Slav when he first started?
Just pick another question.
And then he had a great second year, but now this is his true second year. He's only, he's 21 years old now, and he's slumping a little bit, but he's still going to manage, I think, to pass his second year points total. You'll see he still has a couple more points in him. So let's talk about Kirill for a second here. In Kirill's first 82 games, he had an incredible rookie season, but only played 55 games that first season, and then went on to have an absolute tear of a next season. If you take his first season and then add, 27 games from his second season, he achieved 108 points, which happens to also be the amount of points he achieved in his second season. Wow. Now, I want you to keep in mind, he only started in the NHL when he was 23 years old. I'm sorry to say, but Demidov is not going to get 108 goals between this season and next. I think the best way to look at this is compare it to how Kaprizov played in the KHL when he was 19, and then take that amount and compare it to how much Demidov compared to Kaprizov when he played at 19 years old in the KHL. So I'm going to do that. We're going to try to figure out how many points Demidov is capable of in his first 82 games. I think it's worth mentioning, and we should also consider that although he does have a lot of natural goal scoring abilities, he also seems very equipped to be a playmaker. He's averaging more assists than Kaprizov. I don't know how that factors in his implementation into the NHL and how he integrates into the Canadiens, but that's something to be thinking about. Taking everything that we talked about into consideration, looking at Kaprizov's 19th year on this earth, playing in the KHL, and using the percentage of points between Kaprizov and Demidov in their 19th year of life, that percentage happens to be 99.63%. I would hazard a guess that Demidov is capable of achieving 70 points in his first 82 games in the NHL, but will only achieve somewhere around 60 due to adjusting to entering the league at 19 years old and also finding his way on the Montreal Canadiens. I think that is conservative, but extremely ambitious for a 19-year-old entering the NHL. I want to see him create 70 points. I have to say that 60 is more of a realistic number, but I can't see him scoring below 50. So you add that to the team, and right away, you're making the team way better. Not even getting into how Lane Hudson is going to improve over this coming season. Not to say that even Slav might have found his sweet spot. Maybe Slav is going to produce like secondhand Slav next year, all year long. It's incredibly exciting to think this way. Hockey is hockey, though. Next year, the chemistry could be all off. They might get rid of Armia over the summer. They could get rid of Devo. Who knows who's returning for defense? I've said it before and I'll say it again. The chemical composition of this team is down to a science. We have role players playing on this team that wouldn't integrate well onto another team whatsoever. But the way that they're used on the Montreal Canadiens, they shine. What do you think of my prediction? If you remember way back, early part of this year, I can't remember what video it is specifically, but I predicted that Cole Caulfield would achieve 38 goals this season. He currently sits at 37 goals with 4 games remaining. I think I was a little too conservative, but I haven't done a video like this for a while and I thought it would be interesting. There's plenty of interesting things going on in the NHL currently as I record this video. The Red Wings have lost against the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Panthers, 4-1. The New York Rangers have defeated the New York Islanders 9-2. Crazy blowout. And Columbus just barely beat. What team did they beat? They beat some bum team. They beat the Sabres 3-2. So what does that mean for the standings? What does that mean for the Canadiens? Still, technically, in order to clinch the playoffs, they will need to achieve 3 points. A win and a loss in overtime. Now, if Columbus or New York lose any games, that changes. They'll only need 1 point in overtime. And then if either one of those teams lose 2 games, that clinches it for the Canadiens. They can't catch up to the Canadiens. Columbus looks like the team to beat, though, here. And as I've said, I'm not rooting against Columbus this season. If they want to take it, they can take it. They deserve it after the season that they have. I would be heartbroken, but if they can do it, they're feeling froggy, let them do it. That's going to do it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this kind of like a introspective video. I won't do these all the time. I just, I'm trying to follow the Demidov hype. I also like doing these because I like to go back and see how my predictions went. I made a lot of good predictions. The one very bad prediction that I made this season was that the Washington Capitals would completely fall apart. And when I say one bad prediction, I should say 2. Washington Capitals falling apart, not making the playoffs, and the Nashville Predators being a dark horse for the Stanley Cup Championship. 2 big swings and misses. But a lot of people said that as well. So I was a little bit of a drinking the Kool-Aid guy on that. All right, let's wrap this up. Like the video. It helps me out with search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I would love to have you. And as always, I'll see you down below in the comments.